All right, so this is Symposium, a storytelling game that draws from three sources. The first source is, of course, the book by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato called Symposium. The second source is from Alec Roberts' kind of groundbreaking storytelling card game for the Queen. This is, in fact, a descended from the Queen card game. And the third source is the works of University of Oregon professor Wes Cecil, who you can find on YouTube. He's done quite a lot of discussion of the philosophical concepts that go into Symposium. So Symposium is a fairly a simple game, in a sense. You are at a dinner party, which is just another word for symposium, the ancient Greek word for dinner party. You're all interesting people. And you are having a series of philosophical questions proposed to you by a host. The duty of host rotates as you play the game around the table. And the perspective that you're using to tell the game, the philosophical perspective, changes from round to round. We have 8 different perspectives: skepticism, hedonism, Epicureanism, sophistry, cynicism, stoicism, Platonism, and fabulousness, which is sort of a catch-all term for the character from the Symposium, Alcibiades. So I call it Alcibiadesism, which wasn't really a thing, but you get what I mean. When you begin the game, you begin actually by reading out the rules cards, of which there's 18, like a descended from the Queen. And this actually teaches you to play the game as you play, which we will do in a moment. Then you begin by reading a series of questions to each other. The first question is always make a speech in praise of love, just like in the Symposium. And the game always ends when you are too drunk to continue. Now, this question card is a game mechanic in that you insert it into the deck depending on how long you want the game to be. So that can be a quarter, half, or at the bottom. And that determines the length of the game. There's also an X card in case someone does something that someone else is uncomfortable with. It can be touched in the center of the table. And that is all. Now we will go ahead and start playing by reading out the rules cards. All right. I am Jason Walters, the designer of this game, starting out with the rules card. Rules card number 1. Go around the table clockwise, taking turns reading these cards aloud.
Oh, I'm next. Oh, hi, I'm Sam. Okay. You're an ancient Greek, at a drinking party or symposium. It's filled with interesting people, philosophers, poets, doctors, playwrights, and many others.
All the best things in life are there. Good food, wine, beautiful servants, and interesting conversation.
Can you introduce yourself as our extra
Jamie,
special?
as the extra special.
Yeah.
Something. Guest.
Extra special guest.
The one with a degree in this.
Right. Quit throwing that out there.
We found
That's too much pressure.
We found someone with an actual degree in philosophy.
knows what they're doing.
Then we kidnapped her,
profitable.
put her in the trunk of a car, and drove her out to Gerlach.
Hold on. Cops, we didn't actually do that. It was a joke.
I'm here willingly.
It's a comedic tomfoolery.
I'm filled with japery this evening.
Okay. At this dinner party, the host, who is the oldest player at the table to start with, proposes that each guest should make a speech in praise of love. And speaking of love, my name is AC, and I'm very excited to play this. It's so much fun the last time. Also, I have a degree in high school.
I don't.
Starting with the guest to the host's left, each of you picks up a philosophy card. The ones that have warriors, gods, and words like stoicism on them.
You're pointing to not stoicism.
That's what I think.
That is your perspective for this round.
Everyone knows stoicism is spelled with an EPI.
Mm-hmm. Epistoicism.
Yeah. Oh, yay, me again. Make your speech in praise of love as if you believe what is on your philosophy card. Say the name of the philosophy before speaking so everyone knows where you are coming from.
You have 2 minutes or less to do this. Time it or just make an effort in good faith if that works for your group.
Everyone gives a speech but the host. The host never gives speeches. Yeah. The fun job.
Give a really good speech. The host will measure time for you if needed. Stop reading these cards until everyone has given their speech. Okay. So we'll set these down. Now, starting with Sam,
We all pick a philosophy?
you can pick a philosophy card.
Let me just read what's on the back of some of these.
Yeah, we can flip them over. That would be good. See, just so the people watching can see, these do have descriptions of what the philosophy is on them. So you don't actually have to know what Epicureanism is. So, though you should know what Epicureanism is.
I haven't decided yet. I hope that's okay.
No, it's all good. Should we leave them flipped over so we can all sort of read through them? No. I mean, I love all of these.
Mr. Hand.
Yeah.
Like I said, like David Duchovny and Zoolander.
I remember we have this camera
Yes.
as well. Many camera angles. Because we're professionals. And the silence just shows.
Yes,
There's nothing more exciting than a game with lots of silence.
So, Jace, do you want to talk about this game? Do you have any other thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Hopefully, if this game works as I hoped it to, and in playtesting it seemed to, not only is it competitive, not only do you role play and storytell in a fashion, but it's also enlightening as you discuss some very serious questions about life, very serious philosophical questions.
I found it the last time we played. So I was too nerdy to be a drama kid, which might sound a little bit ironic.
Sam's gonna pick one.
I'm
They're doing it. They're picking one.
I'm rereading this one, actually. I'm sorry, I'm indecisive.
I feel like you're drawn to it.
I'm very indecisive.
But this is basically like if you wanted to be a drama kid but you were too nervous and you were a super nerd who really liked your English teacher, this game is for you. Because last time we played, I will say I got really into the acting of it. And it was a good time. I made a whole... You picking that one?
I picked
Hey,
cynicism.
Your turn.
Now my turn?
Yes.
Alright. No, but what if...
Well, I don't know. I'm going to go with the bottom one.
Okay.
All right. And Rosie?
Well, I'll pick my favorite first if you can hand me hedonism. Sam.
All right.
Yeah. Hedonist.
Never. I can't believe you would ever accuse me of such a thing. What thing have you
All
seen
right.
me do? That's
Here we go,
No,
viewers.
it was a joke.
Now,
Hedonism.
Sam?
Funny.
Make a speech in praise of love.
Oh boy.
From the
Okay.
perspective of being cynical at a dinner party in ancient Greece.
Let me read this so I can get it in my head.
We should make it clear that Sam's a debate kid.
I usually argue very pessimistically, though, and pessimism is not one of these, so...
I was going to say you're usually given much more time to prepare than this.
Oh, no, I shine in impromptu and spar.
Then impromptu.
I just need to get in the right mindset.
Do it.
I'm the first person going. I'm very stressed. Okay.
You ready?
All eyes on
All right,
you.
2 minutes. Go.
I was not ready yet. Oh, I'm sorry, this is stressful. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cynicism, a philosophy that life should be simple and attuned with nature. Let's try to snap out of my normal, overly complex mindset. I believe that love is simply an emotion, which doesn't belittle it in any sense of the word. It simply eradicates any of the unnecessary complications that could be present in the concept of love. We are simply creatures. We have evolved from monkeys, or we were created, depending on which one you believe. But either way, we were made with a simple intention to either exist or survive. And with that, it's easy to overcomplicate things, looking for an in-depth purpose into everything, but the truth of it all is it simply is. And the best way to embrace anything, especially things as impulsive and irrational as love, is to simply accept that they are what they are and not look into the intricacies any further. Love is a natural thing that everyone can and will most likely experience in some way, shape, or form. Whether you understand why or you don't, what you do understand is that it is a thing. It exists, it's powerful, it's overwhelming, and it tends to make you do things you wouldn't normally do. And that is simply our natural, simple state of being demonstrating itself in one of the most natural, simple emotions out there.
All right, excellent. Jamie, make a speech in praise of love from the perspective of being an Epicurean.
Okay, so similarly, love is just a part of our natural world. It's what we are, it's what we do. We know it from birth, from our parents, hopefully, for the vast majority. We know it in community. I've been in a room with these two for several minutes, and I can say I have feelings of love. There's all the degrees of love, all the kinds of love. We love our friends. We love our family. It comes to us just from this place. There is no argument for or against it because it's just there. You can't pin it down. You can't define it. You can't touch it. You can't explain it because it's just this part of us that's so ingrained that you can't separate yourself from it. Even those who are lacking it, it shapes them in such a fundamental way that it's just who we are. That's just what our world is made up of.
That was beautiful.
That was lovely. That was
genuinely
lovely.
beautiful.
Hedonist, take a shot at it.
Of course. So while I agree with some of the points of my two, companions here, I agree love is an intrinsic part of our natures and that we should love as freely and as often as possible. I also believe that being in love is the highest form that you can reach. Being in love is the most pure form of being a human being because we love everything. Of course, not everything, right? But if you're living life the right way and drowning yourself in pleasure at every possible moment, then what can you do but love? Love life, love your friends, love the good wine that we have provided here. Love is just the purest form of how we can perceive the world. Love is just, yes. No, I'm going to end it there.
All right. Wow. Okay.
I do feel like wine should have been provided.
Yeah, perhaps toga should have too, but this is...
Do
Yeah.
I keep this? Does that go back?
Sadly,
All right. Now,
we have an underage.
yeah, that's true. So we have a reason.
Oh yeah, I'm only 17. So.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and read rules card number 10 because it's relevant. Now that we've done this, we've done a round of this. Done? Good. See that the question card that says, make a speech in praise of love. Give that card to the guest who makes the best speech in praise of love. The host will decide who that is, and that is me. Ooh. Sam laid into this with Sam's usual rigor, philosophical rigor. You made a strong pitch for just hedonism, which is totally appropriate. But Jamie was kind of moving, so I'm going to go ahead with Jamie for this one.
Thank you, sir.
And then I'm going to pass
I love that.
the rules cards to Sam to continue reading. And
You have just played a round of this game. Now stop and read the rest of these cards.
Not you.
On it. Shuffle the rest of the question cards except for the "You Are Too Drunk" card. Place that card in the deck to determine how long the game will be. A quarter of the way in for a short game, at the bottom for a long one, and so forth.
with the agreement of all of you, I think I'll put it a quarter way in.
It'd be like
The deck has been shuffled already.
Yeah. Nice.
So like
Maybe like a third of the way in?
like here.
Just for a few more questions to get out there.
Well, Jamie literally has a baby to get
I
back to.
do literally have
Literally,
a baby
it's not
to get
figurative.
back to.
So perhaps we'll go a quarter way.
But it's good that you enjoy it so much that
So
you're
much.
just like, we could play this forever.
This is my existence now. I live nowhere but at this.
But okay. Place all of the philosophy cards back in the center of the table.
Okay.
Wow.
Nicely. Hand the question cards to the player to the left of the current host, forming a question deck. That player is now the new host. Yes. Okay. Left and right is so complicated. Right?
It's
Left,
not.
In a
right.
circle.
The new host selects the top card from the question deck and reads it. Not yet though, because we're going to read all the rules cards per the rules cards. The rules cards say to read all the rules cards before we start. Beginning with the guest to their left, everyone selects a philosophy card once again, answering in under 2 minutes. Maybe I should read that over again, actually. The new host selects the top card from the question deck and reads it. Beginning with the guest to their left, everyone selects a philosophy card once again, answering in under 2 minutes.
Cool.
There's 18?
18.
Okay, I thought there was 12.
No, there's 18.
The new host then gives that question card to the guest whose answer most pleases them, then passes the question deck to the left. That guest is now the host.
Repeat the process like you did before. Everyone gets a turn being the host, deciding which answers are the most profound or amusing or whatever works for them.
Thank you.
When the You Are Drunk card is selected, the game is over. See who has the most cards.
The guest with the most cards at the end of the game not only wins, but is the wisest. Or at least the most awesome. Remember that when you leave to go live your life. So, as you guys can see, and as the audience watching this can see, we have kind of an apples to apples or Cards Against Humanity mechanic here. So it's not a storytelling game. It is also competitive, but in sort of a, Cards Against Humanity, apples to apples kind of way. All right. Take it away, Sam.
Next question.
Did we get an explanation of what the X is for?
Oh, the X is in case someone says something that makes you uncomfortable, in which case you can touch the X card and everyone freezes and kind of resets, right? So the person can sort of say what their objection is, perhaps something just sort of inappropriate or offensive, and then that gives the person that said it a chance to go, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was just doing my best to play the game. I didn't deliberately mean to offend or hurt anyone. Let me rephrase that.
Excellent.
Okay.
So sniffly. My question is, how can trust be mended? I'll put that like that.
Okay.
And so now I pick a...
You pick your philosophy card, whichever one you like.
That's a way harder one than love. I don't remember what this was, so I'm going to give it a try.
Rosie?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm taking a sip from my giant water bottle.
Stay
Which makes
hydrated.
another appearance in this video.
Have we mentioned our sponsor, the giant water bottle?
We're not
And
actually
also
sponsored.
trying to not cough on, because it's very loud.
If
Yeah. I'll take. How can trust be mended? I'll take this one.
you're gonna cough directly into the mic.
No, thank you.
I will take stoicism.
I would have taken skepticism.
I took the wrong one.
Best of luck, because it's
Whew,
your turn
I'm up.
to speak.
Okay, so how can trust be mended? So in order to excel at life, you have to build trust. So trust has to be mended in order to further any relationship or to further any progress. In order for trust to be mended, then one must just work at it and rebuild what was broken, assuming that the trust was broken somehow. One must put their effort into it and their energy into it and show that they are worthy of trust again, and that whatever error happened to break that trust, that was an error and a mistake, and it won't happen again.
Should we real quick say which ones we picked, which philosophies we picked?
Sure.
That was sophistry.
Okay.
That was my interpretation of sophistry.
Right. So I chose fabulousness, which really challenges my inability to say words good. Fabulousness. Fabulousness. So, how can trust be mended? This is a very easy question for me. Because obviously people intrinsically trust me, you know. I've spent my whole life building myself up as a figure to all of the people I meet, someone that they can put their trust in, someone that they don't have to worry about. You know. And if I've ever broken anybody's trust, I doubt it was me who broke it. They probably broke it unknowingly. So really, what you can do to mend that sort of trust is go and explain to them, you know, that they were wrong probably, and that obviously is I, being the most incredible, amazing person that I am, was in the right, and they should really just move to see it through my point of view, because I am always correct, and I am so incredible. And if that doesn't work, give them a lot of money and gifts.
Wow, you must be a blast at parties. Jason.
Most men are villains. The few that aren't are weak. Stoicism. Trust should not be betrayed because one should never fully trust, knowing the fallen and evil state that man is in at all times. The best way for trust to be mended is to not trust, yet not be offended when your trust is violated, because it will be, because such is the nature of men. When you wake up in the morning, know that you walk out into a world of vain, self-interested, villainous men. But be glad, because they are your brothers, and to betray them is unnatural.
And sisters.
And sisters. Sorry, I was trying to sound like Marcus Aurelius.
Well,
That's
fair.
fair.
What a fun round that was.
Where did sophistry go? Oh, sorry, you had sophistry. Okay.
I guess I'll give it to Jason, just because I agree with him more.
That's so
Thank you, Marcus Aurelius.
so cynical.
Well,
All I was saying
no,
is you should ply people with money and wealth and the brilliance of your own being.
one supposes that cynicism would be like, everyone's gonna like you have to sound like Steve Buscemi. Everyone's gonna screw you. So don't worry about trusting. You know.
I really would have liked to
Okay.
have gone with skepticism. That would have been.
So Jamie.
So this is one of my favorite topics. Where does the soul go after death?
Whew. Tough.
Oh, I have to pick first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where does the soul go after death? I mean, there's the easy one. I'll choose sophistry. I think. Yeah, sure.
I need to read this one again real quick.
Okay.
I must admit for the viewers, I picked the easy one, for I know a great deal about Epicureanism. And the answer is very easy.
Okay. I'm not going to go with that one. I'm going to go with...
You're not gonna go with that one?
I don't think so. It's just so hard to choose. I'm indecisive. I'm infamously indecisive.
Do you want to look at this one and maybe I'll take Platon?
No, you can take that one.
I think Platonism would be a good one for this.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of, you know.
But if
guess
you don't
I-
know what it is,
I guess
I'll
I will
take
pick
it.
Platonism.
Okay.
Yeah, Platonism.
I know
kind
what
of,
it is.
You
Yeah,
understand that? Okay.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites because what the heck? Plato really said, actually, all of this is awful and fake and bad. They are all but shadows.
I wonder if Invisible Sun
So-
was inspired
so
by
you-
Platonism.
A bit, yes. Okay.
Oh yeah, Invisible Sun is all about Platonism.
Except for, it's like you're living in the world of the real things.
Yes.
Invisible Sun.
So take it away, sophist.
Where does the soul go?
Okay. Well, after death, the soul goes to a variety of different places depending on how well you did in life. You see, life is all about winning. And if you can't win in life, you're not going to win in death, and you're not going to win in the afterlife. So what I've created is a 12-step program.
I can't wait to hear all 12 steps.
A 12-step program, which you can buy the first step is an in-depth and
I'm not pointing, I'm counting.
it's an in-depth explanation of each step individually, and it's only $4.99, whatever currency the Greeks used, a speech.
Okay.
So if you want to get to the ultimate place that you can be after death, all you have to do is follow these 12 simple steps. And obviously, as much as I would love to tell you all about them, you do have to pay the fee before I can extrapolate further. But I will tell you that if you want to win, guarantee this will get you there.
Shall I go?
Yes.
The question is, where does the soul go after death? Epicureanism, the answer is simple: nowhere. Your soul perishes at death. And this is a good thing. This isn't bad, because you are finally going to be free of suffering. You won't care, because you won't exist, and that's fine. It's a huge relief. All the burdens you carried in life will be lifted from your shoulders, and it won't matter. It won't matter to you, because nothing will matter, because the soul ceases existence at death.
That's legit, honestly. That sounds great.
Me, my turn. Where does the soul go after death? Well, one could argue that once you die, you simply re-continue. Another could argue that once you die, you ascend to a perfect state of being. But that brings up another question. What is perfection? Now, this question cannot, in all actuality, be answered by us here in this plane of reality, because this is an imperfect plane of reality, and one cannot imagine something that they do not exist in or have not experienced. Like, if a two-dimensional thing were to witness the third dimension, they would not be able to understand or process it, because it is not a part of their existence. So that is the same thing with life and death. We exist in a state of being here that is imperfect and flawed, and when we die, it is possible that we transcend to a place that is perfect and free of any and every flaw. But it's impossible to truly comprehend what that could be or will look like or even mean for each individual person or for everyone as a whole.
Wow, that was really good, everyone. We all were really in character for this one. Thanks for that excellent sophistry. I felt like I was watching this round on Fox News. It was fantastic.
It felt
And that was you were channeling Plato right there. I felt like I was chained to the wall of the cave, looking at the shadows and trying to figure out whether they were real or not. Excellent.
This might mean nothing except for to sound, but when you were like, can't wait to hear all 12 steps, I felt like I was trapped in the Sonic real-time fandom where they're like, this reminds me of the dream I once had about robots in the sky. And they're like, explain to us in excruciating detail, Tails. And Tails like, oh, well, it was, bye.
There were robots in the sky, and bye. That's a really good video.
12 steps. Whoopsie daisies. Is that what I said? 12 of them?
I think we all performed pretty well by the standards of our philosophical
I think you
perspective.
did as well. I think
this
this is a
entertaining dinner
Yes,
party.
but,
hard one to pick.
One of us performed better than the other two.
And that was me.
I mean, who's to say? It's all subjective.
Except for to the host.
Except to the host is the one who decides. Yes.
I'm having a hard time.
We could always just rock, paper, scissors.
No, I don't think that would be fair.
It is our host at our party's job to decide.
Especially since I would win. Because I always win rock, paper, scissors against you, dude.
And to paraphrase a great philosopher, President of the United States, she is the decider.
Yeah, and I don't want to tear this lovely card in half to split it.
That's
That
a
would be
different
nice.
parable.
I think I might have to go with the sales pitch.
Aww.
It was a good sales
Because
pitch.
it really just sort of got me, and
That's great.
I want to buy this plan.
Thank you. Yes, it's my new
So
religion.
see if I have $4.99.
Yeah. Oh no, it's $49.90.
Oh, I don't think that's what you said. Could we play the tape back?
Play the tape back. You
Uh-huh.
have to stop recording. You have to
Didn't
check
you
this.
didn't you get a card?
No,
Didn't you
No.
win one? No? Okay. All
I
right.
haven't won yet.
Okay, alright.
Despite being the debate
Really
student.
close.
It's fine. It's just I'm a debate student. I haven't won a philosophical debate.
Lay it on
It's
us.
fine. It's fine.
I believe in you.
I know. I'm joking. It's a game. I don't really care.
Is grief the price of love? I'll say it again. Is grief the price of love?
Jeez.
Going for stoicism for 1200.
Do it. Should I turn these around so you guys can see them more easily?
Oh no, it's fine.
It's
I can
fine.
read upside
Yeah.
down. I'm gonna pick skepticism.
Cool.
Are we all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Grief is invariably the price of love. This is why both love and grief must be born throughout a human's life. Stoically.
Uh-huh.
Because stoicism.
Good.
A funny man, I see.
However, as tonight we guests at this fine dinner party drink and drink, and in the morning we must wake up with hangovers, so must the highs of love be counterbalanced by the lows of grief, whether that is betrayal, inevitably, or death. Either one, expect them and be prepared to bear them,
You sound like my dad.
manfully or womanfully.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Woman
No.
Woman
I'm
flea's my
done.
new favorite word.
Jokes on you. Rosie doesn't get hungover. Anyway.
That's true.
Skepticism.
So far.
One cannot fully understand what grief or love truly are or where they come from, as they are naturally, supposedly intrinsic states of being, and we can't understand what is truly intrinsic, as we can't understand why it's truly intrinsic. But what I can tell you is grief and love are two sides of the same coin, although the amount of sides that this coin may have might be out of the ordinary. One cannot say that grief and love are perfect balances to each other or responses to one another, but we can say that there is an obvious correlation between the two. Quite often when you lose something you love, you fall into a state of grief. But you can fall into a state of grief when you lose something you've hated, or you could fall into a state of love as a response to grief. So to say that grief is a result of love, while excluding that love can be a result of grief, and grief can be a result of pretty much any sort of loss, or even a figment of your imagination, is to ignore the fact that we simply cannot understand them to their full intrinsic existences.
Good. And I truly felt like I couldn't understand any part of that speech, so I think you got that.
Here,
one.
let me say it in layman's
No, no, no.
terms.
Can you real quick scooch that back a little bit? Because I'm also watching it wobble every time we move the table out of the corner of my eye.
Okay.
I don't know if it can't be scooched
Do we
back.
need to move the
It
table?
cannot be scooched.
One of the
Yeah,
legs
move
is
the
already
table.
against the wall, and it's just kind of
We
there.
can scooch the table a little.
Just
yeah.
a tiny,
Let's
tiny
do it.
amount.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you. No, that was that was good.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Is grief the price of love? So, clearly grief is a waste of time. Why bother?
What philosophical perspective coming from? Oh. Hedonism.
And love is really a waste of time when it all comes down to it. Because love in and of itself generally is just more stressful than just doing the thing that you want to be doing with the person you're doing it with, instead of wasting time with all these attachments and feelings and things that are going to weigh it down, complicate the situation. Instead, just do what you want to do. Enjoy it in the moment. When the moment's gone, there's another moment. Why worry about the moment that's gone? Whatever you've lost, it's in the past. It's done. Let's move on.
Wow.
I love that.
Thank you, President Trump.
I feel like I need to turn that one over, though. I feel like I just betrayed
I'll be sure to send a clip of this to your
everything I said.
I mean,
Don't show my son.
there's things to be said for living purely in the moment, purely in the right now. Who needs, like, you know, not narcissism, because we all need narcissism, but nostalgia is the word I was thinking of.
Disagree.
You are the host, therefore you are the judge.
Oh, right, I forgot.
You're not actually embodying a philosophy at this moment.
She was embodying her own philosophy.
Yeah, I was busy being a narcissist. Sorry. Just talking and not thinking. Let's see. I see you doing this in the corner over there. And as much as I see you doing this in the corner over there, I was not kidding when I said that I actually kind of relate to that one.
It's fine.
All right.
Just constantly live in the moment and never be sad about anything, and also do whatever you want. That's why I don't have money.
Maybe I'm a little sophisticated. It's fine.
Okay, we have a related question. Can we know happiness without sadness? Can we? Maybe we should put these over here so this camera can see. Can we know happiness without sadness?
I'm gonna pick cynicism again.
Getting mighty comfortable over there.
Yeah, I mean, I like philosophies that are closer to my own mindset because they're easier to roleplay.
I have to admit, I've taken Stoicism 100% of the time so far. So that might say a lot more about me than
Wasn't
this
there
game.
one time you took
Bust out of
something
your
else?
I took Epicureanism, which is a subschool of Stoicism.
Ah,
So, there.
only things like realism were on here. That'd be nice.
Can you hand me the skepticism card, please?
I don't know, can I?
I don't know, dude. I'm real skeptical about your abilities and your hands and everything.
I have weird hands.
That was not the point I was making.
No, but it was a connected train of thought in my regard. We're just our
Okay.
impulses. Sometimes we just do things.
Sometimes
Ooh,
you're
yeah, I'd forgotten just how... Is that cynicism?
Yeah.
I'd forgotten how cynical my cynicism card I designed.
Wait, this is cynicism.
No, what do you have? You have skepticism. I forgot how skeptical or perhaps cynical skepticism
This is a very non-cynical cynicism card.
Is it? Because cynicism, when I actually was reading the information about the ancient Greek school of cynicism's not nearly as cynical as cynicism.
It's not what we use, how we use the word cynicism.
Yeah, it's not fatalism. It's something else.
That would have been a nice philosophy to have.
yeah,
Fatalism.
would be fun. You're just like
You could build
We're
it
all
into
in the
cynicism if you
extended
want
deck.
to. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
In the booster deck.
Just that, you know.
I don't know the terms.
Fatalism, cynicism, existentialism, all the fun ones.
Yeah, if we hit our stretch goals, maybe.
That could be a stretch goal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I know I'm not starting. This time. Sam, go.
Oh,
Alright.
I'm starting.
You are starting.
Great, and the question was?
Can we know happiness without sadness?
And I picked cynicism. I had it. I had a whole thing, and now it's gone. Hold on.
Oh,
It was there.
we love seeing the ADHD mind at work.
Thank you. I try very hard. Can we know happiness without sadness? From a cynical, but not a cynicistic. That's not a word. This perspective.
I think it should be a word.
Cynicistic.
Yeah.
Womanfully is now a word. So
We have now increased the human tome of knowledge by
Urban Dictionary. Hit
womanfully,
us up.
womanfully, and cynicistic. We have increased the sum of man's knowledge.
Oxford Dictionary.
the
Hit
world's
us up.
getting better as we speak.
The world's getting better as we speak.
Yeah, Oxford
Okay.
Dictionary, digits.
Cynicism, and it's can we have happiness without sadness? Happiness and sadness are both intrinsic feelings, a natural part of what it is to be human, and you may believe that you are lacking in one of them, but that is not innately true. if you exist in a state of being where you are fully persuaded that your existence in this world at this time, or at any time, is one of misery or joy, you just will find, if you look closer, that there's the opposite naturally present. You have no control over how you feel and when, even if you may believe you do, and if you look into that moment with a sense of optimism, you will find that naturally in certain environments you will be happy or sad. So you can't say that one cannot exist without the other, seeing as they both exist naturally and intrinsically, and even in the lacking of one you will still find it, if that makes any sense. In a state where you think happiness is impossible, you will still find it in small glimmers out of the corner of your eyes, small giggles or bursts of maybe pessimistic joy or sadistic enjoyment of the misery you may believe your life to be. Or if you think that your life is perfect, you may find sadness in the imperfect flaws of your day-to-day life, or the mild insecurity you may experience. So you can't say that one exists without the other, because they're both independent, naturally occurring events and phenomena in the human existence.
I'm going to take a shot every time you say intrinsically, and a half shot every time you say naturally.
I think that was good. That was good.
I'd give you the card. If it
That was good.
I'm going to hit you over the head with a wine bottle every time you mock me.
I'm not mocking. It was very good, and also, take a shot every time you say
Jamie.
intrinsically.
What did you use? Platonism?
Platonism.
Okay.
So I think the important part of that question is, can we know happiness without sadness? But can we even know happiness or sadness? We have our interpretations of happiness and sadness. We have what I believe happiness and sadness to be. We have what you believe happiness and sadness to be. None of us know it. So how can I know if one can exist without the other? Because I don't know what either of them are. So I can have my belief about it. I can have my understanding about it. Who's to say?
So what you're saying is we can't really know because all we can perceive is the mere shadows cast into
All we're seeing
fallen
is
reality of perfect happiness and perfect sadness. We can only
far removed.
we can only comprehend the imperfect form. So who's really to say it's not really happiness or sadness?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
We've got happiness and sadness way up here in this unreachable realm.
Wow, that's not only informative
knows?
but depressing.
Like April's tears
Thank
sifting
you,
through the
welcome.
clouds.
Yes.
Yes.
I do what I can do.
All right.
Yeah.
So what did we pick?
I chose skepticism. So in a very similar vein, I think in order to discuss the question of can we know happiness without sadness, we must first discuss what happiness and sadness are. Because it's very hard to pin down those two concepts. Emotions are very hard to specifically define. I think what is much easier to define is the idea of opposites, of opposing forces. And I do not believe that you can have one opposing force without the other opposing force, because then they would not be opposing one another. It would just be the one force. Therefore, you must have the opposite to know its counterpart. And so, as much as we can never fully define happiness and we can never fully define sadness, we can find those definitions within ourselves that we feel good enough about following throughout our lives. I think we can see that as we go through our lives, we will find moments of happiness within sadness, moments of sadness within happiness, and each will be more complete for the other being there.
Wow, that was all really good, guys. This is a tough call.
I forgot what I was saying halfway through what I was saying multiple times.
I'm going to go with Sam.
I know it's not a democracy, but
I'm going to go with Sam on this one for presentation.
Yay! My first point.
For living in the question. All right.
Oh boy, my turn again. What? Oh, I keep drawing the questions I really want to answer. Do we have free will?
oof.
I want to answer this one.
That's really good.
God.
I should have brought some water.
Do you want a sip from the big water bottle?
Yes.
Brought to you by the Big Water Bottle, maker of the Big Water Bottle.
What you can do is you can fountain it because it does have a spout. So please
Okay.
don't put your nasty.
We are proud to support our sponsor, the Big Water
The
Bottle.
big water bottle, many stickers, beautiful purple color. We love it.
I don't know.
I
So-
believe in you.
It has
What do you think,
a
Jamie?
rainbow axolotl. I'm covering the sand below it because it has profanities.
Okay.
What are you covering up?
It has
Okay.
I
profanities.
picked this one before, didn't I? Yeah, it must be.
We're all profanity. Oh, so
Can you hand me a plate? Thank you. Since you're taking your big sip, Sam, sorry.
Last time I tried to pound something, I spilled it everywhere but my mouth.
You could also just take the cap off. Just don't use the straw, please. That's all I ask. Sam, what's the thought process here? Twist off the cap. There you go.
Wait, I can't do it.
I thought you wanted me to take the straw out.
No, it will not come out.
Thank you.
It has a thingy that prevents it from falling out.
I can take care of myself, I promise.
Should we have, Sam, should we have Jamie take it away?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
What did you
Okay. That means I have to come up with an answer.
Water.
Not take away the Big Water Bottle on this show brought to you by the Big Water Bottle.
Which is fine. I'm an independent person. I'm almost an adult.
Take your big sip.
Oh my god.
Take your big sip so we can do this.
Jamie, you can start.
Okay, do we have free will? Of course we do. Because to not have free will would imply that there's somebody out there controlling our destiny and assigning us our path in life. And clearly we get to choose our own path in life. We get to decide what we want to do, what we don't want to do. There we go.
Didn't we have a thing
That was a train of thought that just went
I
somewhere.
know. We had something the last time we played that was to indicate when you were done talking, but I don't remember what it was because we kept having that moment of like
But
everybody.
Yeah, we were
that
doing
wasn't
something, we
exactly
were-
done. That was
we
a
were
lost thought.
handing a baton or something, but we had like 6 people during play testing,
That's
and there's only 4 of us, so I think it's not necessary.
Okay. Let's see here.
So, what is your philosophical perspective?
Platonism. That's correct. The pronunciation.
Plato.
Platonism. Yes.
Platonism. Alright. So
Plato, fun to play with, not to eat.
the wrestler Greek man.
I know. I was talking about the.
And I don't think Plato was known for his wrestling.
No, he did wrestling.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Plato means like strong or something. He
Oh,
basically,
okay. I stand corrected.
He's basically Dwayne the Plato Johnson.
I think that's how he's shown in all the drawings, you know?
it's
With a belt.
super
That must
buff.
be why the big belt is there.
Yeah, he's got that really badass
Interanchian
tattoo.
wrestling champion. Peloponnesian wrestling champion. I got 2 belts.
Yeah, also, huge brain. Also,
Yeah.
the strongest muscle of them all.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows the brain is a muscle.
Yes.
In the
It's
ring or in the
not.
classroom.
It's not.
It's not a
I'll
muscle.
take you down, Aristotle.
It doesn't flex. What? Why did you think the brain was a muscle? It's the actual butter.
It's a metaphorical muscle.
So Rosie was going
You're
to
fine.
was going to express her views on free will.
I'm glad my train wasn't the only one that just left the room.
Okay.
The something podcast.
The digression podcast.
It is.
I'm actually
That's our
crying.
nickname for this show that we do. Is the digression podcast.
All right then.
Wowzy. Okay. Do we have free will? I don't know anymore. The brain's not a muscle? Alright, cool. Okay, seriously, guys. Do we have free will? Do we have free will? This is a interesting question. I think free will, even if we did have it, we would only have such a facsimile of what it actually is that it wouldn't even count as free will. I think that the type of
I'm sorry.
free will that we would experience would in and of itself, because it is the shadow of the true free will, not be free will. Therefore, we in our current states do not have free will.
That is startlingly provocative.
We do not have free will, but we can hope to attain the true free will, hopefully at some point, perhaps after death, or something along those lines. But for now, while we are stuck here, no, we do not have free will. What were you laughing?
Wow. Okay. I never thought of that. That's great. That's great.
I
All right.
didn't think the brain was like a muscle. I just thought it was made out of the same stuff as muscles.
What?
Like, it's, you know,
Everyone knows that neurons are actually just muscle cells.
Okay, anyway.
No, every time you
Uh,
flex, you're just thinking really hard.
Well,
I will take it away as an Epicurean.
okay.
All right. As my friend Jamie the hedonist meant to say,
Thank you.
of course the
For
gods
clarifying what I meant
of
to
course
say.
the gods are real, because as we all know here in Athens, not believing in the gods is a capital crime. So, however,
Only in the strictest sense.
Only in the strictest
However.
sense.
However, and as a good Epicurean, I am never in favor of saying or doing anything that causes maximal discomfort to myself and infringes in my easygoing lifestyle. However, as above, so below, the gods exist, but paying attention to the activities of man for the gods would be about as interesting as us continually watching insects. The gods exist, but they're not interested in the affairs of men, because as beings with godhood, they have far more enjoyable and pleasurable things to do than pay attention to man. Ergo, we do have free will, because the gods don't govern us, because it would be too boring to do so, and therefore contradict their concept of godhood. So yes, we have free will, because the gods are distracted, because they can do anything.
Can't they, like, see the future?
Yeah.
I think Apollo would disagree with you, maybe.
There are people out there who specialize in watching bugs all day. Anyway.
Hold on, I want to dig
So
into
maybe
this bug
except for
metaphor.
the interesting people, because the gods definitely meddle in the lives of
the whole
interesting people.
we cannot have
They
free will
do.
because the free will experience is merely the shadow of actual free will, and therefore so imperfect it cannot be free will.
I mean, I'm gonna actually give
This is
it
really kind of great.
I'm gonna give it to the person who thinks that the brain is a muscle.
Okay, listen, it's been a long time since I was in school.
A win is a win.
It's
The win is a
3
win.
years since you were in school, and everyone knows that the brain is not a muscle.
3
A
years.
win
Okay.
is a win.
How about this?
The brain as a muscle is a fine metaphor, though, and you clearly meant it metaphor.
Yes,
I
yes,
do
yes,
not
yes,
believe
yes,
she
yes,
did.
yes, yes. Also, we can say that the amount of alcohol I've consumed since turning 21 in March has killed off the brain cells that remember that the brain is not muscle.
Oh, that's not a good thing.
I've been pickling myself slowly, and therefore...
You turned yourself into a pickle.
Hit us, Jamie.
I don't think you can pickle a muscle.
I think you can.
So I'm good.
I mean, if you couldn't pickle a muscle, you couldn't mummify things through pickling.
Yes.
Is that how
Okay.
you mummify things?
No, but it's a thing that can't happen.
Okay.
Really?
Kind of, I believe so.
You believe it? It must be true. Is beauty objective or subjective?
Oh my gosh. I can pick first on this one. Wowza. Okay. Is beauty objective or subjective?
I should remember what these are, but I don't.
They all kind of run together a little bit.
Oh, and all.
I'm not picking it. I'm just looking at it. Sam, can you hand me the cynicism card? I
Yes,
just want to see what it is.
it's fun.
I'm trying to pick a different one every time.
Mm-hmm.
Is beauty objective or subjective? Sure.
Uh-huh.
Give me it.
Because it's easy.
It is.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I want to win, so it's easy.
Judge isn't going to give you points for easy.
But I don't know. Maybe the judge will give me points for
The
easy.
judge is not going to give you points for easy.
Well, I'm going with it anyhow.
I didn't pick hedonism. I think we're all carefully staying away from hedonism.
Except for me, I think I keep picking it.
Well, it is my legitimate
Well,
favorite.
I could argue
My
it from
favorite is-
hedonism easily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not picking
My
hedonism.
favorite is cynicism, but I want to go with Epicureanism.
Okay.
Epicureanism.
No, hedonism.
EpiPen.
Hedonism is just fun.
Hedonism is bleak.
All right.
What?
I think
Okay.
it's bleak.
Anyways.
I think it's materialistic and
Hit
cruel.
us, Rosie. Is
Okay.
beauty objective or subjective?
I'm staying focused and compartmentalizing that for later. So
And what do you have?
I have cynicism,
Okay.
which the definition of it here is the purpose of life is to live vicariously by being close to nature. So
Virtuously.
virtuously. Sorry, I overworked my brain muscles.
Oh my
I'm
God.
having a brain
many
cramp.
deadlifts.
Yeah, too many deadlifts up there. The tiny cartoon arms are just flexing so hard. Alright, so
Intelligence is your lowest stat.
thank you. Beauty is fully objective because what many people believe to be beautiful in this life is in fact not beautiful at all. The lust for power and money and fame, all these things which people believe to be beautiful, is in fact some of the ugliest things in this world. And the only beauty in this world comes from nature. You know, the flowers, the trees, you stop, you look around you, and just exist in the place where you are in the moment. And that is what true beauty is. Now, that is not something that you can argue against. Therefore, beauty, true beauty, is fully objective, and it is to be found in nature, as is the meaning of most things.
I don't know. Have you seen a baby pelican? Those things are ugly.
Just that one post on Tumblr, dude, they really walked his life.
I picked Platonism.
Mm-hmm.
Our inner self knows that beauty is objective. Thus, in the world of perfect forms, there is a perfectly beautiful woman and a perfectly beautiful man. There are perfectly beautiful everything. And our souls long for the perfect beauty, which is our natural realm, instead of what we see in the corrupted world in which we experience. Hence, we judge beauty, how good or bad it is, based on our interior knowledge, our Akashic record of what we know objective perfect beauty to be.
Well, unlike the other two, I'm going to argue that beauty is subjective. Now, there's a degree of beauty that can be argued to be objective simply because it is consistent, but beauty varies from community to community, and the expectations of what is beautiful vary from person to person. And as such, we can dictate that true beauty is subjective, as each person will be raised in a different way to value different things, and different communities will respect and appreciate different things. So, it's subjective because it varies.
Okay, fair. What philosophical perspective?
Oh, Epicurean.
Yeah, that sounds pretty Epicurean.
Yes.
With the added Epicurean bonus that his way is easy. Which no, Epicureans greatly valued things not being too hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I value that as well.
You know.
Those are all solid arguments. I think I have to go to the one that I feel most drawn to.
Philosophy is betrayed.
It felt the most comfort.
Reasonable, comforting,
Yes.
not too hard, not too rough. Epicurean.
Yeah.
Alright, Sam, this one's for you.
Oh?
Don't even make a speech in praise of youth. I believe in you.
Oh, I got this, baby!
Why'd you get so excited?
Almost
Why did you get that excited?
a large majority of my impromptus follow a topic of how youth is the good.
Pick your perspective, Sam.
Pick your thing. Also, I can't believe you think hedonism is bleak. That's the exact opposite of what it's going for.
This is not quite what I need for this.
What you need?
The right tool for the right question.
What about picking something that challenges you?
I am not going to challenge something that has gotten me to state twice in a row. This is going to be something I do my absolute best at.
Alright. No arguing with the debate kid over here.
Jeez. No, I have done so many speeches about youthfulness, it's insane.
Well, you are very youthful.
Most of my speeches follow the pattern of as you get older, you lose your innocence.
That might make it hard. You're picking a hard perspective to argue that from if you go with that one.
Well, the problem is, I think youth's not all it's cracked up to be, so.
I don't know, I'm having a great time. The world's on fire and also is sick, and it's just, I can't wait for 80 more years of this. I think it's going to be awesome.
That's assuming you'll live to 100.
Do you want the cynicism?
No,
I know you're not playing,
no,
but do you
no.
want the card?
I don't think I'm going to live to 100. I think around 60, we're going to be able to upload our consciousnesses into robot bodies. We've talked about this. And then I'm going to be able to have a cool robot body that has built-in roller skates. And I'm not going to care about anything
I
anymore.
think that immortality is a curse.
Okay.
Were we having this argument in real time the other day?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm having this
Okay,
argument, and I
alright.
still believe my
May
perspective.
I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. As everyone knows, the purpose of life is to be larger than life. And the best time to be larger than life is when you're young and you don't know any better. You don't know what your limitations are. And you don't care about all the superfluous crap older people care about. You don't care about power or wealth or security. You just want to be as maximum you as you can possibly be. So youth is the best time to be awesome. Youth is the best time to be huge and to do all the things you want to do and not care about the repercussions. And that is what life is about. It's about fabulousness.
Please,
It's about
our
being
mics.
fabulous. And youth is the best time to be fabulous. Hence the best time, the best and the best time
The best time.
there is youth.
The best time there is.
It's the flowering of your awesomeness. Free from the shackles and chains of age and wisdom.
I was going to say. Also, the microphones had a heart attack, I think. You gotta be nice to the table.
Okay.
There's all the way up to the microphones.
So much enthusiasm.
No, it's very enthusiastic. Also,
That was the enthusiasm of youth, as I remember it.
Yes.
At some point in the distant past.
You saying you don't get enthusiastic about stuff anymore?
Only like every day, pretty much. So,
Okay.
Sam.
Ooh-wee, okay.
Okay.
The greatest Stoics are the pleasurable and innocent children, as the only understanding of reality they hold is their own. The only perspective they hold of the existence around them is the one that they witnessed through their eyes at that moment. And their perspective of life gains more and more data, more and more variables, and more outside perspectives as they age. Meaning that as you get older, you lose your opinion to view the world in a truly stoic and perfect way. As when you are young, the world as you see it is simply your plaything, and everything is a new moment from time to time. Everything that you experience is something new for you to process with your own thoughts in your own way as your own understanding. But as you get older, you are taught and you learn how to consider other people's perspectives and how to consider other times, places, and variables in the world. Meaning that as you get older, you lose your truly stoic, truly philosophical, and objective perspective because you lose the ability to simply perceive the world with your mind and yours only. Thank you.
Philosophical.
I would say that's our third edition of Merriam-Webster's today is philosophical.
Philosophy.
We're
Oh, I
on
cut
a
out a
roll.
syllable.
We are on a roll.
Philosophical.
No, but I like yours better, philosophical.
Philosophical.
It sounds like a really
It sounds
tasty
delicious.
Middle Eastern dish.
Little tahini
Can I?
sauce on that?
I'd like some philosophical as well, with my dolmas.
Listen, you've entered the group chat. We will not make fun of your typos.
I regret this.
Alright.
All right. So youth. is a time of ease. Life just comes, especially when you're very young and the world is just sort of handed to you. You're hungry, somebody brings you food. You're thirsty, somebody brings you something to drink. You're angry, upset, hurt, somebody brings you comfort. As you get older, things get a little more challenging. So youth is the time where things are just happy and easy and light, and there's no stress, and you're not out trying to pay a mortgage and the mechanic and doing all of the things that come as life goes on. And there's not the aches and the pains. Your body's at its best, it's strong, it's vital, it's got all the energy, all the enthusiasm, all of the juices flowing, that brain muscle is all nice and flexed, ready to go. As time goes, everything starts to sag, it starts to ache, it starts to creak, and just gets more, everything's just heavier and harder.
You slowly turn into a mannequin wearing oversized clothing. An old baby.
Apparently that's what
I'm
happens.
old, the bottom of my pants are rolled.
What?
It's a sad state.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty accurate metaphor I found from my own experience.
I don't know.
Are you making fun of my old Navy sweatshirt?
No, it was just the first place I
I
thought
was
of
looking
that.
down at my pants while you were saying, like, yeah, you know.
I don't know. The way you described it made me think of like a mannequin wearing oversized clothes.
You forgot another perfect
Sort of
Epicurean point. It would be other people are responsible for your security.
Goodness, I hate it when I have to go to the mechanic to fix my carriage because we're Greek. We're
No,
ancient
but-
Greeks.
Seriously though, I remember the first time that Dad was like, "No, you have to make your own doctor's appointment," and I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm just not gonna see a doctor for a minute. I guess I just want to go."
Did you say, Dad, I'm 8?
No, I was more like 13.
Yeah, I was close.
I remember having
Once I got a
to
phone.
get myself to the dentist for 2 months.
No actual parents were defamed in the making of this video.
No, of course.
So what do you think, Rosie?
Parents, my
What do you
parent-
think?
my parental
Speeches
duties
in
are
praise of
gonna become a
youth.
do.
Yeah.
We're probably getting close
Close.
to the end of the game.
Okay. Yes. In which case, I was just no nonsense. You were correct, and it's a state-worthy speech.
And that's all a bunch of hooey. As you get older, life just gets better.
I mean,
It's ridiculous.
You saying it's not all love song of J. Alfred Prufrock?
I was going to disagree.
No, things get a little achier, but generally they're just way better.
I had chronic wrist pain for like 5 years, so...
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. What is it to be intelligent?
Ooh, skepticism.
You, just like me, taking the easy.
Yeah.
You could always pick your absolute favorite.
I know. I'm considering it.
It's an easy answer with hedonism.
Aren't these all easy answers? Because he's literally the main concept of philosophy is contemplating what is intelligence?
No.
Or just what is the nature of
What is it
existence?
to be intelligent? Not, I guess it's kind of an existential question. Not what is the nature of intelligence, but what is intelligence manifest,
And that's why
emergent in the moment.
And that's why I would really like existentialism in this game.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not very ancient Greek. It's more like World War II era German.
No, but
kind
it's
of.
fine.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, let's maybe in the booster deck, which I hadn't even contemplated, but maybe.
If this does
Stretch
well,
goal. Yeah, stretch goal.
We can bust out my chart of how intelligent does something have to be before you can't eat it.
Now this was a real-time philosophical discussion yesterday.
I personally think that if
And
anything
a
can be eaten.
conversation that ended with a passioned critique by Sam of the American work ethic.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. I went on like a 5-minute tangent about capitalism.
Yeah, which is
So-
why. See, this isn't just a game. This is our life.
This is actually what it's like to work at a press revolution. So, what is it to be intelligent, Sam? You are embodying skepticism.
The greatest aspect of intelligence is the recognition that intelligence is imperfect and constantly always lacking. So what it is to be intelligent is to be self-aware and aware of what it is that you do not know. True intelligence and true wisdom is the understanding of what you are not wise or intelligent on. And as such, what it is to be intelligent is once again to be self-aware and to be able to fill in these gaps with the simple knowledge that they are gaps, and not necessarily with the attempt to fill them in with the missing information. Thank you.
That's a powerful argument. Jamie?
So, intelligence is all about the pursuit of intelligence and the effort and thought that you're willing to put into striving to be more intelligent and understanding that it's work and that it's not just kind of just knowledge that's in your head, that intelligence takes that effort and that drive of understanding what true information is and what the real truth is and what is out there, and working towards a deeper understanding of that and getting closer to that like base knowledge that is out there in the world. We just have to strive for it.
So far we have to be intelligent is to know the limits of your intelligence and what you don't know. To be intelligent is to actively search, to actively improve your intelligence in the search for knowledge through empirical sense data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hit me hedonism? No, it
Yes.
isn't.
It's hedonism.
Okay, hit me hedonism.
Alright. So, what it is to be intelligent is to know yourself. The only way to be the most intelligent is to know yourself as intrinsically and completely as possible, because the only way to know what your true wants and desires are so that you can move forward into filling those wants and desires is to know yourself, and that is what it means to be intelligent. Yeah.
So hedonism says gnosis.
Is that
Inner
what-
knowledge is intelligence.
Then yes. I don't know what gnosis is.
I feel like these are just us honestly answering the question.
It's self-knowledge.
Self-knowledge.
So skepticism makes a powerful argument, and one I personally agree with. But Platonism makes an inspiring argument.
But is philosophy about inspiration or understanding?
Good point.
Or
good point.
is it the crossroads of the two?
That's for the host to decide.
Yeah, the host is going to decide. Hedonism kind of, I feel like, bailed out of me on this one. I feel like hedonism should have said it's an irrelevant question because all things are about the pursuit of pleasure.
What you want to say is like intelligence is knowing who
For
sells the best
losers.
wine.
Yeah, that would have been. You could have sold me on that one. I'm going to go with Platonism on this one because I found the Platonism inspiring. Like intelligence is the quest for intelligence. I found that to be inspiring.
Which I actually believe.
I think you were right.
I don't consider myself a Platonist.
I think the true
feeling-
wisdom is knowing what you don't know. But
I get the feeling we just answered with what we actually believe.
It's hard to answer with what you don't believe. Like,
well, no.
Yeah.
I was making a choice not on what I believe, but
No, I was
what I
talking
found
about
inspiring.
the arguments that were
but
presented.
giving the argument.
Yeah,
Well,
it seemed
just-
a lot like the three of us
It's
are just
hard for
answering
me.
with what we honestly believe.
Well, so all these do is give you a filter,
Yeah.
right? Like a direction you can lean in, like guideposts, like driving down a highway. But you're still you. You're always going to argue from your own perspective.
Oh, it's me again. Yay. I'm so glad I don't have to answer this one. Is everyone's life of equal value?
Oh, I actually wrote that and put that in here, huh? Well,
Yep.
that's on me.
You want to X-card it now?
No, we may wish we had when we're
Uh-huh.
done, but let's.
No.
Should you write on the bottom of it, everybody be cool, though, when answering this one?
As Julius Evola once
I
said.
have no
I'm
idea.
kidding, camera.
What have I not picked yet?
That's a good
I
question.
don't think you've picked. Have you picked cynicism?
I'm gonna go with fabulousness.
I don't think you've picked Epicureanism.
I know there's a lot I haven't picked.
Oh.
No, she's
going with
picked
fabulousness.
Epicureanism.
Oh.
Boy, Wow.
Oh, I just thought of a really good argument.
You want to switch your card? No, you're not doing the card.
I'm not answering, so I just get to talk about how good of an answer I just thought of. But I'm not going to say anything about it until everyone's picked their card.
I just love Platonism a whole bunch. I think it's so funny.
I
He
think
really looked at the world and he was like,
All right, I'm going.
actually, all of this is fake and sucks.
Well,
I feel
I
like-
think just because he said it doesn't mean he believed it.
Now I
Right.
have to...
All right. All right.
Am I
I'm
up?
going with Platonism. That gives me a solid answer to this.
So, clearly, no, everyone's life is not equal because some of us are just more fabulous than others. And if you're not living your life to your fullest and you're not being the best you can be, then what's the point? Why bother? So, do it big, or just go home.
Are we allowed to ask questions as the host?
Well, I don't really cover that in the rules. I mean, I suppose you could, but it's just sort of everybody sort of gets their 2 minutes to say their piece, and I guess you could. Yeah, I don't see any reason why not.
So does that mean that everyone is intrinsically what is it? When you have no value?
Valueless.
Valueless at birth?
You start at 0.
No, I think you start at like a...
We're all Dungeons and
Start at
Dragons
Just
characters.
sort of a...
We start with no eeps, and we have to
Yeah,
build.
like maybe a 1, a 2. Like you
Yeah.
start with some value because you've got like babies have some lust for life. They've got some vim. They've got a little something,
Gus,
a little je ne
gusto?
sais quoi. Yes.
Yeah.
And then whether they choose to like embrace that and go with it, or whether they choose to go.
Okay. Is gusto the right word?
Do.
I thought it was Guspa. For a little bit.
What?
Guspa.
I don't know what that
There's
is.
guts.
I don't think
what
it's
is
a
it?
thing.
Gutspa?
Gutspa.
Something.
You mean chutzpah?
Yeah, there we go.
That's fine, yeah.
Hi, I have ADHD.
Or just not much exposure to Yiddish. It's okay.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, both. Both.
This is one of those times that I make up a saying on the spot thinking it's a real thing.
So, Rosie,
Rosie,
you
your
are answering this through the perspective of what?
Hedonism.
This cough that, no, I'm
Sophistry. All
Sophistry.
right.
Is everyone's life of equal value? Intrinsically, at birth, yes. Because we all start at nothing. We're all worthless the moment we're born. Our value only comes from what we do in life and the effort that we put in life. Now, when you get to, say, middle age, that's when you can really truly see the differences in the value of people's lives. But it depends on how much work and effort you put into it. You can always work a little bit harder and do a little bit more and raise your value just that little bit much so that you're better than everybody else around you.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I have questions.
Sure.
If you had to choose between an elder and an infant, and one of them had to die,
Is the elder like super cool and wearing sunglasses?
it's just an elder.
I don't know them.
You don't know them, and you don't know the infant either.
The infant then.
The infant's gonna die?
No. The infant's gonna live because if I don't know who the elder is, obviously they've wasted their life because I know everybody important. So if I don't know them, then they're not important. And so I'm going to go for the child because they still have the potential to reach the same level as me. I mean, not the same level as me, but like pretty close.
Sophistry.
Egoism. Okay, next.
The best way to conceptualize the human condition is as a sports playing field with a goalpost on the far end. The goalpost is the perfect version of you. Be you a infant, an athletic young person, an old person, or a person in the prime of life. Out there in the perfect realm of forms is the perfect individual, the perfect man, woman, child, what have you. Since none of our imperfect forms are close, since none of our perfect forms are our temporary forms that we're embodied in, that emanate from that perfect goalpost on the far side of the field, are equally close to being the perfect child or man or woman or what have you. The value of human life can be judged by how close we get to that pole in the field of life. So no, human lives are not equal because human lives are not equally as close to the perfect version of human life. The closer you get, the more valuable your life is.
Okay, I want to hand it to you.
Thank you.
I biffed on presentation.
I feel like yours was just inching, it's just a tiny bit too close to eugenics for my comfort.
I just
It's a tiny bit too close.
Really quick, if you want to pause for a moment, your phone has died.
How do you know?
Because I can see the reflection of the screen in the window.
Oh, no, it's just a notification.
Is it the notification that you're at 20% battery?
No, it's an iPhone storage full.
Oh, then it has stopped filming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
So...
And I'm getting very close to being nervous about my son waking up without me.
Do you, so what do we want to do about that? Do we want to see...
Should I just like flip through, see where the next card is, and see how many rounds we have left or something?
We can like do one or two more and call it quits. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. Because, you know...
We can do that and just do a couple more and see who the winner is.
Okay.
Who started? You started?
I did.
We finished this round. You
So
said...
let's
yeah.
end with Rosie.
Okay.
Cool.
What is a life well lived?
Awesome. Oh, and I get to pick. I
Wait,
should
I
put
have
this
3?
back.
I think, yeah.
Ooh.
I thought I only had 2.
I don't want to count. But now I
You're
have to.
probably-
I have 3.
Oh, I thought you were winning. I was right.
I don't think I've done this one yet, so I'll take this one.
Turns out that degree paid off.
I mean, in this very specific circumstance of being in the middle of the desert and
Next time I write the check for that student loan, I'll add a little more pep in my step.
I won a game of philosophy.
This truly benefits you in all manners in every part of your
It
life.
really does.
This game is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you repeat the question?
What is a life well lived?
Okay. So
And what do you?
I have Epicureanism.
Mm-hmm.
Which admittedly is a philosophy all about how do you live a life well lived.
Yes. why I chose it. So a life well lived is a life spent in comfort and good company. A life well lived is one where you are concerned with the happiness of those around you, but not to the point where you are causing yourself undue stress and harm. A life well lived is set in the balance of caring for yourself as well as caring for your community. It goes with divorcing yourself from politics, but understanding that in order to keep up a comfortable lifestyle for yourself, you must sometimes participate in them. It is keeping good company around, but understanding that sometimes you need some time to just take a breath and go walk out in nature for a day. Take, some good wine, a picnic, and just exist in the moment that you are currently living in. A life well lived is hard to define, but fantastic to experience.
Mm-hmm. 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 What card do you have?
Stoicism.
All right, bring it.
Ooh-wee.
It is important for a life well lived to exist in the moment, but also to be deeply involved in the path of justice for your fellow man. To have a life well lived, you must pursue the proper treatment of others. And you must do so in a manner consistent with a resistance to the temptations of pleasure and pain. Because ultimately, a life well lived is a life well lived for others. I apologize, watching audience. Parents' work is never done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes.
Can you repeat the last thing you were saying before the phone started ringing?
Well, Rosie,
A life well lived is a life spent in pursuit of justice for your fellow man, in accordance with a clear understanding that you must stand above concepts of pleasure and pain, and a constant pursuit of knowledge and the helping of your fellow man.
Rosie, consider consider the comedic value
Mm-hmm.
if you just let him finish his speech, and then the music starts, and we all pause and look over, and then you cut.
And that's the end of the video.
That's the end of the
We never found out
And then the
video.
caption is just like, and we never saw the.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, cynicism. What is a life well lived? I'm stretching because my shoulder hurts. I've been dealing with shoulder pains for like 2
Sorry.
days now.
Okay, go.
A life well lived is a life lived subject to your whims and impulses. We exist in a natural state of being with natural behaviors that we as individuals and as an entire collective organism are inclined to want to and enjoy enacting. Whether you believe that we were created this way or we evolved this way, you cannot deny the fact that we exist this way. And many people preach the importance of being yourself and loving yourself, but truly that is the most significant part of living your life well, is just doing what you want to do and being who you want to be, regardless of what other people tell you, because that is your natural state of being, and trying to change it is simply going to impart harm upon yourself in some way.
All right.
I like that quite a lot.
Why was I looking at the door?
I don't know.
So those were all fabulous answers. But I have to say, I felt like you were speaking to my soul. That's my definition of a life well lived.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're a very Epicurean person.
it's yeah.
I thought that one.
Write down to actually how you live, which is Epicurus's way of living, which is live
In
with
a
a group.
garage.
No. Live with a group, quasi-communally, but not like in barracks or anything. Like have common areas. You can retreat to your own areas, but it's Epicurus felt it's really important to be able to like go downstairs and like find someone interesting to talk to while you eat.
Actually, yes.
And
Wholeheartedly
Epicurus
agree.
was also like, it's important for philosophers to live in groups with other philosophers, because if you're one philosopher wandering on a market, you're a weirdo and a victim. If you're 10, you're like, oh man, that's 10 philosophers. Let's just not bother them.
Yeah, totally.
So it's all actually, Epicureanism is very close to your actual lifestyle.
We have
Yeah.
to stick together,
have to
otherwise
stick
we're just
together.
crazy.
Yeah. All right, lay it on us.
So
Me
we
and
can-
all of my friends go out wearing the weirdest clothing with neon hair.
Yeah, but if there's 10 of you, then most people are like,
Then it's a
That's
thing.
That's
Oh, it's
like-
a swarm of queer teenagers.
yeah, which is much safer than being a one queer teenager,
Mm-hmm.
which Epicurus would point out, like he did point out consistently.
Yeah.
So
So we can pretend that I saved that one for last on purpose. I didn't choose that one any of the other times because I knew that question was coming. Oh, this is a pretty good one to end on. Okay. Why does beauty matter? Pick your cards.
What?
You guys pick so fast. Wow. Alright.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
I already know how to argue this one, and it's the way that I would argue it in any other matter. Apparently I'm more cynical than I thought I was.
Again, I'm going to take a shot every time you say natural.
It's a part of the card.
I-
I just randomly pick one. It's a great way to end the game.
should we
Oh,
go?
it's good. This is interesting. Yes. Please go.
So beauty matters because beauty is hedonism.
Oh,
Hedonism.
great.
Oh, there's no thing.
Yeah, my camera died.
It's okay.
Beauty is so pleasurable, and it's pleasurable right here, right now. You can look at a beautiful piece of art, you can look at a beautiful person, you can look at a beautiful sunset, and it gives you immediate gratification. Right here, right in the moment. Not hypothetical gratification, not abstract gratification. It gives you pleasure you can feel. And that's why beauty matters.
Oh,
Look
I
in a
regret picking my
mirror.
philosophy. Can I switch my philosophy?
Or a pond. Or a river. I'm talking about narcissism.
I've said my piece.
If you
So-
want to switch, you can. I don't care.
I'm not going to. I picked this one with an argument in mind, and I will fix the
Well,
argument to perfect.
You chose that one a lot. So if you want to choose a different one, you can totally choose a different one. Is what I'm gonna say as the host.
Oh,
And the host kind of makes the rules.
okay, then I will pick a different one.
Just because I want to.
Take a hot guess what my argument's going to be, everyone. Platonism.
I love Platonism.
Beauty matters because it is a window into the eyes of a perfect world. Beauty matters because we live in an ugly and imperfect, hideous, flawed, and disgusting existence. But by looking at beautiful things, we can escape from all of this all these gratuities temporarily.
Wait, that's word number 4. Gratuity. It's like gratuity and gross at the same time. It's gratuity.
Yes.
Gratuity.
Is gratuity an actual
No,
word?
no, gratuity is a word, but you're like gross and gratuitousness. You were like gratuity.
I thought it was an actual word.
No, gratuity is a word, like a tip for a waitress.
Yes.
But I like yours, gross, and what is it? What is it? Gross and
I don't know.
gratuity,
Grotesque.
Yeah.
grotesque,
Grotesque, that's the word I was looking for.
grotesqueness, gratuity.
No,
I like that.
grotesque.
Gratuity, it's like the act of grotesque.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
let me finish my speech.
it's like grotesque is a verb.
We live in a disgusting, revolting world, and beauty is the temporary freedom and release from this world. A window into the perfect existence beyond our own. When you look at a beautiful person, that person simply is a window into your perfect world. A beautiful painting is truly like a window into a beautiful world. A beautiful scene is like a landscape shot and brought to life from this perfect and beautiful world. So beauty is important because it is a temporary freedom from all of the flaws of our hideous and imperfect world.
Again, a mirror, the perfect portal to the perfect world.
No. Agree to disagree.
You saying if you woke up in the morning and you saw this, you wouldn't be like,
If I woke up in the morning and you were just the first thing I saw, I might punch you.
good. What about if you saw Midnight, which is our cat? Have you considered?
We have a very
Look,
cute
what
cat.
we've learned here is that man lives in a constant state of gratuity.
Leave me alone. I thought it was an actual word.
Okay.
Y'all are so mean.
Not mean.
No, I'm genuinely filled with admiration. We've each created a new word tonight, but you've done 2. So,
I don't know if I can.
well, not Jamie, who has an
I think
actual
I
education and therefore doesn't have to make up words.
I'll just generally mispronounce them, is all I'll do.
Yeah.
So, beauty is all that matters. It's what attracts us. It's what brings us into any situation. It's what brings people to us, whether it's our external beauty or internal beauty or vivaciousness, all of those things. The beauty of a scene, a tree, a mountain, a painting, whatever it is. It's that beauty that draws you in, that sucks you in, that's what you want, whether it's a beautiful person, whatever, wherever that beauty comes from. Beauty is all there is. A beautiful soul, it doesn't have to be necessarily like what we think of as the physical beauty, but it's that beauty that you see and you just want more and you want to be close to that and you want a piece of that.
Yeah.
And you want it to kind of rub off on you a little bit and bring you more beauty and just build.
Skin supermodels so that you can have their beauty.
I was gonna say every time we eat one of the
It puts the
hierarchy-
philosophy on its skin.
I was gonna say every time we eat one of High Rock pizzas, because every time I open those boxes, I'm like, that's beauty.
Yeah, they were pretty good. We had some tonight
It was
too. They're
delicious.
pretty good.
There's 2 right over
This
there.
show has been
Very
brought
much
to you
enjoy
by
it.
High Rock Pizza, Girl After
Quickly,
Hell.
bring one in.
No, it's just generic pizza box, but they're just really tasty.
It's very
All
good.
right, I
Yeah.
think we have concluded this. You wanna pick a winner?
Who won?
You know, I answered it from your own
I know.
perspective. What you wanted to hear.
Truly, if I could just mush hedonism and Platonism together, I think that would be such a beautiful philosophy. Where it's like, nothing in life is truly real, so just enjoy it to the best you can.
That's like optimistic existentialism.
Yeah, sure.
A little bit. It's slightly different.
Anyway, I'm gonna give it to you because
Yay.
I quite enjoyed that. That made
So-
me laugh quite a bit.
Who won? I have 4.
All right. Who is the wisest?
So we will say, with our beautiful.
Oh, we have a tie.
How many did you 2 have?
I have 3.
I have 1.
Oh.
I'm not the wisest.
You took the easy road.
I took a variety of
You
different
did take
cards.
a variety of
I was trying to think
That's true.
strategically, you know, of like, okay, well, maybe this is the best way to approach this question.
Best way to beat a tiebreaker. Rock, paper, scissors.
Alright.
I don't mind sharing the crown.
Yeah. Do you guys have the same number of cards?
Yes.
Nice.
We're both equally wise.
Yep, we're both
I
equally
think,
wise.
I think that's fair. Quite. Oh man. So it's very good. And one thing I really like about this game is how it really does open up the doors to conversation. Like the amount of we went on a lot of digressions, but they were very good digressions. They're very and I think you do get to know.
Everyone knows that hearing someone admit they thought the brain was a muscle is so
not like an actual muscle, but like
So
it has to
academic.
be made out of muscly type stuff.
No, it's not.
But I think normally these kinds of conversations tend to be dry. Like you think of having a philosophical conversation and you think, oh, this is really going to be quite exciting, isn't it? We're going to really get into this. But this was quite entertaining and very fun.
That's kind of why part of my game mechanic is I just want to have questions, right? I was like, okay, here's sort of your guide, and it'll be amusing.
Yes.
Right, because it's amusing to be it's amusing to go. Okay, I guess I'm the skeptic, or I guess I'm the sophist, which is potentially kind of the most amusing. I guess I'm the hedonist.
The cynic? Is that what they're called?
There's cynicism in here too, yeah. But I did try to stick more with the actual philosophy from ancient Greece rather than our modern concept of cynicism. You can see how it's descended from cynicism, because cynicism was like, no, you got to stay close to nature, and you shouldn't have material possessions, and you should live completely as simply as you possibly can with as little as you can, and draw all inspiration from the truth of nature. And that kind of leads to our modern, none of this matters. I'm just, it's kind of modern cynicism's implied in ancient cynicism, but it was a different thing.
Either way, turns out I'm very cynical in both contexts.
It's also a great, educational tool. Look at that.
You learn new words.
Yeah, learn new words.
We created 4 or 5 ourselves.
Not a muscle. Brain's not a muscle.
No.
Cartoons,
The brain is just like
The
a
cartoons do show it.
pile of mush.
I don't know.
Jamie is an Epicurean. Now she
I
knows.
Yeah. So it's really really fun, I think.
Yeah, I liked
I
it.
just had a
That was fun.
fantastic time playing it. So.
This was a fun game. This was my first time playing it, and it was very fun.
Yeah.
All right, and thank you. And
Thank you.
back us on Kickstarter so
Yes.
that we can make a high-quality version of our rough deck
Yes.
that AC and I have created here.
Right.
But to make a high-quality professional deck, we need you to back this Kickstarter project.
Sam also helped. Sam cut out the cards.
I did.
Sam
Also,
helped too.
keep an eye out for that expansion deck stretch goal, maybe.
Maybe. We'll talk about it.
We won't force Jason to write it, or will we?
Or will we?
So, on that note,
We could.
thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys later. Everybody wave. Bye. Bye.